You're struggling to get a good night's sleep. This practice today is to help melt away that tension that we tend to trap in our shoulders. It's also about making our slumber more relaxed and peaceful. Go ahead and grab yourself a blanket and a yoga block or something small, similar to perhaps a foam roller. Let's help you feel more relaxed and peaceful for tonight's sleep. Let's go ahead and start seated. I've chosen to prop myself on top of my blanket. You're welcome to lift your hips a little bit higher. And then just bring one ankle in front of the other, sitting easy cross-legged. Just take observation to which ankle is in front. You're welcome to grab yourself a prop, and maybe you're bowing forwards and allowing your forehead to drop towards that block. If it's way too far away, don't worry about it. Just let yourself begin to bow forwards. I'll bring it in nearby. It might be something that I'm feeling like I can go towards or feel the support of today. So just allowing yourself to tumble forwards here and melt. Don't feel that you have to be propped by anything. Maybe you do, just let yourself dangle deeper and deeper with the weight of your upper body. Noticing any deep restrictions in the body, making any adjustments to make sure that you feel at ease. And it could be placing something underneath the knees for a little extra lift or support. Maybe something higher underneath the hips. Maybe you have soles of feet together rather than crossed-legged. In a moment or two, I will be lifting up and shifting the crisscross of my legs. So let's just settle in here for another 3 rounds of breath. And then slowly roll your way up if you're going to change the leg shape. I'm just going to bring my feet out for a moment and just take a moment pause, a release of the knees being in that deep bend. And there's usually always one way that you favor in terms of the crisscross of your ankles, bringing one foot in front of the other. So let's go for the other way. You might realize that you need more props, support perhaps. This is where I always notice at how wonky my body is. And if it feels right for you, again, starting to bow forwards. You can use props underneath the forehead or not. You might be much more upright. We're just seeing if you can start to soften down. So if possible, really try to let go through the spine, the neck, the shoulders here. You might be feeling a whole lot more in knees and ankles and hips in this pose. And that's okay. Just adjust as you need to, so that you're never experiencing any pain. Come back to a steady rhythm of breath. Just a couple more breaths. And then we're going to be rolling our way up. And again, I'm choosing just to release my legs and just take a moment to pause. You might even have the legs long. So I'm going to keep my block sort of somewhere near where it already is. I'm just going to turn it onto its medium height, and I'm going to drape my blanket over my block. My block is made of cork and can feel a little firm. So if you've got a foam block, it might not feel quite as intense. Also, if you're just much more sensitive in your back body, then I suggest bringing a blanket over the top of your block. This is where you could have a foam roller instead as that block. So I'm just gonna turn my back towards the block now. I'm gonna aim to bring that block into the thoracic, the middle back, and I'll aim to go a little bit upper. So I'm just gonna figure out the positioning that I wanna go for. There might be a bit of a shimmy around, so sort of mid to upper back. And then once you've sort of found a place that you feel like you can stay, if possible, we're gonna then bring our hands and cradle the back of the head here. Now this might be more than enough to actually just stay with this shape. It might be that you don't want to add on too much of anything at all. Take note that you can change the shape of your legs. You could have soles of feet together, knees wide. You could draw the knees towards one another, like a little TP shape. I'm enjoying just having knees straight up towards the ceiling there. And then in your own time, go ahead and see if you can take a little exploration. Whilst I'm speaking, it's a little harder for me to move because I want to make sure that I'm able to breathe here. But I'm going to see what it feels like to turn my gaze up, open a little more through the throat, and maybe explore opening through the elbows as well, and just seeing how my body might feel in a slightly more open shape through the heart space here. And then you might decide that you could just keep on draping your way back, or perhaps you'd like to actually move with breath. So I'm going to just play with that for a moment, see how it might feel to exhale, lift upwards, and then inhale, lean my heart back. It's like you're opening the heart up towards the ceiling and then drawing the heart to face forwards again. Exploring whether you open and close through the elbows. If that adds to sensation that works for your body, do so. If not, you could keep the elbows much more drawn in. Seeing if you can continue to move with the rhythm of your breath, or it might be that you're just draping yourself over that block, little bit by little bit. Just a few more breaths. I might just see if I can pause for a moment. And then when you're ready to come up and out, I'm just gonna hold my head in place and then bring my elbows and forearms down. I quite like to hold onto my hips as I push an elbow into the earth and then lift up. And your choice how you might want to release from this. It could be that you want to lie straight onto your spine. I'm choosing just to drape my body over my thighs as I bow forwards. And I'm also going to just let my head drop here. Try to feel into the release of that connection with your prop. Notice any sensations that might be occurring here. Maybe you notice that the breath feels particularly full and open. Perhaps you're concentrating much more on the sensation in the upper back, that connection to your prop. And now the release. And when you feel ready, coming on up, I'm just going to undo the blanket from the block, and I'm going to just bring my block out to the side here. I'm going to just bring my blanket down. I'd quite like to lie on this today, just to feel a real sense of comfort and ease. And then we're going to lay back. So just a little side note, I have one of these cork blocks, which can be on the heavier side. I'm going to see how this feels for my body, this next move that we're going for. And it could be that I'll just decide that I don't want to use it at all, or it might be that I'll find something else I can book instead. Your block might be similar, or perhaps you've got a foam one, which generally is a lighter one. That might be more appropriate for what we're about to do. So we're just going to lie all the way back. Once you've found your way to the ground, just take a moment drawing the knees in. You don't have to overly squeeze, but just finding your back body connected to the earth and the mat there. And then when you feel ready, we'll drop the knees down towards the left side, and we'll grab our block in our right hand. So we're taking a bit of a twist here, letting the knees just tumble down to the left. The block, or perhaps a book, is in your right hand. I'm going to keep my gaze straight up, but you could also turn the gaze towards that hand and block. And then I'm just going to explore lifting the block off the ground, so my back of the hand is just lifted off the earth. I'm going to explore just reaching my arm up and away. And then I'm going to see what it feels like to bring my hand all the way upwards. So for me, this is feeling definitely too heavy using my block. I'm not particularly enjoying this sensation. I'm just going to remove it and see what it feels like actually without it today. There's no need for my body. I want to spread my left elbow out to the side if that's available, and then just seeing what it feels like to reach the right arm up and then lower the right arm. So some of you might have a weight balanced on your right hand, and it could be guiding you to keep that right shoulder open, but it could be that that's just way too intense. So it's like you're doing a bit of a snow angel through the right arm there, lifting and lowering, and I'm keeping that elbow bent. And you can move really, really slowly. It might be that you just want to pause somewhere that's giving you a sense of release and ease. Seeing if you can be really weighted through that right shoulder, staying down towards the earth. So I invite you to find somewhere that you'd like to pause for 3 breaths, feeling a sense of real openness through the heart space, through the collarbones, through your chest. And then you'll slowly pull your way back through center. And once you find yourself on your spine once again, I'm choosing to TP my legs, drawing the knees in. I'm just going to drape my arms over my chest. I'm just aware that my microphone is here, so I'll go carefully. But just let the arms kind of dangle over your chest here. You'll notice that one arm is closer towards your chin. Try to take observation and just in your mind say left or right, whichever one is closer to your chin at the moment. Let the weight of your hands just drop those elbows from the center towards the opposite direction. So again, just take observation. Repeat once again whether it's the left or the right arm that's closer to your chin, because the next time we come to this, we'll do the opposite arm closer to the chin. And then just undo the wrap or the drape of those arms. I'm just going to pivot my whole body so that I have the space and you can still see, and I'll go for it on the second side. So I brought the block. I probably won't use it again, but I might do. Remembering that both sides can be quite different. So allowing for those differences rather than anticipating or expecting. So we're just lying on our back, a little gentle squeeze of the knees inwards, feeling connection of back body and earth. And then I'm going to twist those knees down towards the right side. Spread the arms out so that your right arm will be out to the side and the elbow can be bent. And I'm just going to bring the block to my left palm here. I'm just going to pause, see how that feels. Just hovered the hand up off the earth so the back of my left hand is lifted. For me, I'm quite enjoying this current position. I might come back to it. And I'm just going to see what it feels like to gently raise my arm up. So don't feel that you have to have the whole arm hovering off the earth, but perhaps you can do a few little sweeps here, back and forth. I'm finding that stillness works quite nicely for me with the block, but I'm not enjoying the sweeping with the block. So I'm just going to remove it. I might bring the block back. And this is the way I really invite you and encourage you to explore. It's all about what feels right for you in this moment and trying to be intuitive as we connect to our own body. The feedback, the sensations that you're experiencing. So you might again be lifting and lowering that elbow a few rounds. And then maybe you want to just pause somewhere that feels a sense of real openness and spaciousness through that heart space, through the pecs, through the chest, the shoulders, collarbones. I've chosen to just hang and pause for a couple more breaths. One more breath wherever you are. And then we'll gently draw our way back through center. So back to TPing those knees together and then draping the arms over your chest. And this time, bring the other arm closer towards the chin. It isn't that you're trying to give yourself the deepest bear hug, you're just letting those arms drape over you. And then slowly unravel those arms. I'm just going to set you up for a few moments of guided breath here. You might decide to change the shape of your legs, long, maybe soles of feet together. You might want to bring one palm to belly, one to heart, or just let the arms relax beside you. I'm choosing just to have one hand on my belly. So before you settle into Savasana, let's take a few moments of concentrated breath. Upon your next inhale, take a breath of a count of 3. And then see if you can just pause for a second. And then take a breath out for a count of 3. And at the end of that exhale, again, take a second pause before you go ahead and inhale. So for a count of 3, in, pause for a second, out for 3, pause for a second, and continue that way. Come back to the counting of your breath. See if you can do 2 more rounds. Counting 3 in, pause, out for 3, pause. And at this point, setting yourself up for deep, nourishing rest. Savasana. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like Tula being free and accessible to all.